Hey, what is going on YouTube? It is Blue and we are back with another video. This one is going to be just, going over the legendary changes that have been in place, how they are actually implemented in the patch now, and whether they're looking at damage-wise. Basically, if you watched my other videos, you're probably already well informed, but I know a lot of people kind of doubt my information, so we're going to go ahead and put this video out. It's just to kind of confirm the things that I'd already stated. I hope you like the video. This one's just mostly going to be looking at blood balance, some simulations, crafts like that. Talking a little bit about stats. I do have a video where I'm testing the new legendary, and we're able to get a pretty good parse with that, so I'm pretty happy about that. But let's jump into it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so basically this is about my last video. We went ahead and we made some predictions for Celestial Alignment. We said, hey, it's pretty good. It's probably going to be your best in slot. Since then, they've made some changes to Celestial Alignment to actually buff it, and it's looking very good. So you see it is slightly above Drought of Deep Focus. For those of you very familiar with Drought of Deep Focus, it's very specific for specific fights, right? Back in 9.0, we run Drought for single target only. If we needed any type of cleave whatsoever, we ditched it. We went to a lower legendary, a lower damage legendary, just so that we can cleave and do our necessary things that we needed to do. Luckily for Celestial Spirits, is looking very good. I would say definitely switch over to Celestial Spirits, put it in the pants with the crit, the mastery. Now, what I do want to show you is some of you guys are like, oh, Blue, I don't like doing anything you tell me to do because I'm a gangster, so I'm going to just keep running Drought. What I do want to show you guys, as far as the Blood Mallet goes, please understand Celestial Spirits, the big strength of Celestial Spirits is actually coming from, remember, it's the mastery, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at Soul Binds. And I want to show you guys something about Blood Mallet specifically that you may not be very familiar with. Okay, so we see Night Fae, we see Grove Invigoration. This is our huge mastery buff, right? This is 400 mastery anytime we press Convoke. With Celestial Spirits, I'm pressing Convoke twice as often, so the buff is just staying on me 50% of the fight. Very, very good. Now, as we go in about 3 weeks' time, depending on when you're watching the video, right, we are going to unlock Bonded Hearts. What does Bonded Hearts do? Gain a stack of redirected anima from Grove Invigoration, heals up to 5 nearby allies. So anytime I press Convoke now, it's going to heal people. If it heals somebody that is not of a Night Fae Covenant, the mastery that you would have gained is doubled, okay? And we know, just from our simulations, hey, holy cow, anything that's giving me any type of proc of mastery is huge damage-wise. So why is it that Bonded Hearts is way down here? Now, I have nothing to do with simulation craft, but this is speculation for me. This specific ability, whatever you call this on the talent row, is comp specific. So it's really hard to give a proper simulation, I would assume, for something that is comp specific. Now what we know is that we know everybody's moving away from Night Fae. So this is actually a very, very strong ability to us. But I totally understand that if they're trying to just say, hey, we're not really touching this because it's comp specific, if you're running with yourself and 5 other Night Fae people in your raid, then hey, this really has a chance of sucking it. But we know nobody's Night Fae anymore, right? Mages are moving away. I believe hunters are moving away. So the chances of you being in a raid with 5 other Night Faes and healing and getting the proc to heal those specific people are really, really low, right? So I would assume that the value of this is very good, but just do keep in mind, hey, they're valuing this at basically nothing when it should be getting a value. So Celestial Spirits is still pretty high up, even though they're valuing that as nothing. So for those gangsters that still want to run Drought of Deep Focus, maybe reconsider. Okay, now what I want to go ahead and do now is I do want to show you my stat weights. Well, not really my stats, we're just going to sim our DPS, right? So I want to show you what Drought of Deep Focus is looking for me and what Celestial Spirits is looking for me. Because you may notice Drought of Deep Focus is 8.5 about, and then Celestial Spirits is about 8, okay? It's about a 50 DPS loss for me to go Celestial Spirits. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to predict why, and I believe why is you'll notice I have not yet moved I have not yet moved Drought of Deep Focus to my neck. I believe it's on the neck, I forget. But when I do that, it's going to feel bad, right? I mean, having a legendary on your chest feels really, really good because you're going to make that the strongest item you wear, and it gets really good value from agility, secondary stats, right? Now, moving that to your neck is going to feel pretty terrible. You're going to get really good secondary stats, but you're not going to get the agility, and you're going to miss out, which is probably going to lower the damage to be in line or slightly in line with this. I would assume slightly lower, like Simcraft, like Blood Mallet is telling me, right? So if you're like me and you have not yet got a chest domination and you're still running Drought, cool, go ahead and do it. If I get that chest domination socket, I'm never running Drought again. So this is what the Sims are telling me. And I do want to post a video. I'll go ahead and just do a video so you guys can kind of see. So this is what it was telling me. So I was like, in Raid, I was like, oh, I guess I'll just keep running Drought. You know, I want all the DPS I can get, whatever. But we get to Painsmith, where we're kind of progging. And I was like, oh, great. We're actually progging on a heroic boss. This is a great time for me to test out different legendaries because I've done so many pulls on the same boss that I can kind of, you know, get a value for the DPS and how this Celestial Spirit Legendary is going to do. Now, before we go into that, just really quickly, I do want to show you how I'm simulating an AoE. Please keep in mind this is a very great week for Circle of Life. Any type of ad weeks are very good for that. I never crafted Circle of Life. I just go Apex and I'm fine with that. I mostly also do bears and tanks, although Feral is doing pretty good damage now. In dungeons, still not going to be a top tier, but it does very good. So running 10.3. And then Circle of Life is 9.9, so you guys are aware. So Circle of Life, very good. In dungeons, probably not so much. Maybe in Tyrannical weeks, may not be too bad. That might be something kind of to try out, but I'm guessing probably still Apex for those Tyrannical weeks. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the logs. We did run Painsmith. First time, again, like I said, I stuck with Drought. So first time running Painsmith. Very, very happy with this. We are able to get a 96 parse, 15 overall. And I think this was, I'm pretty happy with this. We almost got to the 6K mark, but we also didn't have a monk in the group. So again, I'm pretty happy with that. Very happy with that went. I'll go ahead and show you guys the clip. Now, what I want to show you on this clip, as soon as I can move this, is that I want you to take a look at the DPS when I'm popping Convoke. Something that I was a little bit worried about is I'm like, oh man, you know, this legendary, I'm not going to get such a good burst. We were still able to burst around 20k with a lighter Convoke. Now, I might have gotten lucky with some Biprocs and such, but really good, really excited about how it performed. Was able to get a really good parse. So yeah, I foresee a lot of people switching to this very soon and just making this their main legendary as well as a dungeon legendary. But that's it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace. Hey, you guys, I'm editing over the video and I realized I was going to talk about stats and I totally forgot to. I do apologize about that. Now, something that I want to talk about and that I noticed is running Celestial Spirits, running Drought. I got to a point where I am getting to about 40 critical strike and it's capping off from me, right? Around that marker, maybe 38% crit or whatnot. Crit is my main stat. Once you reach that point, it's really dropping off for me and it's putting more value in mastery and versatility. Now this is really great for us actually because there's a lot of versatility mastery gear that drops in Domination. So that is really good to know. Just understand that, hey, you need some big pieces of crit to get you to that drop-off point before you can start equipping that gear, because you do want to get crit. Now also, let me actually get into my game. Also, these are my numbers with Decanter of Endless Howling. Now this gives me a proc of agility when I critically hit. So this may also be boosting my simulation numbers to go more crit focused. Oh, look at this. This is perfect, right? I'm glad I did this. So you can see right here, I'm around 38.7%, so around 39. And this is where my crit's dropping off. For Drought, I believe it's the same, roughly around that 40% mark. And then I'm just like, hey, go in Mastery, go in Versatility. So that's kind of how my stats are. So that may be a little bit different because of this Decanter. Also keep in mind, you guys, go ahead when you have the time, get some Verse gear, get your PvP up to 2100 if you can, because that's going to be a great way to get Taste of Blood. Taste of Blood is a huge, huge DPS increase, right? So we can try to get that PvP and max this out as soon as we can. That's going to increase our bites. Increasing your bite to the maximum potential of that potency trait may also possibly change the stats, so be aware of that. If you do your bomber a PvP and you do get that 2100 and you buy that, I would go ahead and sim yourself again. It may possibly say, hey, I previously liked that 40% mark, but I know you're losing value on crit, but I still want you to dump more in crit. That may possibly happen, so just keep an eye out for that. Currently, I've not done any PvP. I'm not worried about that. Still farming dungeons. But that's it. Thanks.